Welcome back. This is the Now Morning Show, and thank you for joining us. If you're just joining us on Talk City 91.1 FM, on Facebook, or on TTT in your homes. Well, the world essentially came to a close over the last 3 months, with travel and tourism grinding to a halt. However, on Friday, the UN World Tourism Organization, the UNWTO, launched a series of gastronomy videos from around the world with the hashtag Travel Tomorrow, and Trinidad and Tobago was among them. Heidi Alert, Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Tourism Trinidad Limited, is on the line. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Heidi. Well, you know, the last 3 to 4 months must have been excruciating, extremely challenging. How has Tourism Trinidad Limited been coping during this time of the COVID-19?
Well, I'll tell you what, and you referenced the UNWTO's campaign of Travel Tomorrow. Right,
yes.
and I think one of the biggest strategies that we have employed and really encouraged both each other as well as the industry is to look to the future, right? Because there's certainly nothing that can be done at the current moment.
Yes.
In terms of and of course we fully support all the measures, and we are appreciative. I mean, certainly me as a citizen here and being here, all the measures that have been taken to protect the nation. But of course, one of the follow-ups of that is certainly tourism has been one of the hardest hit. Mm-hmm. And so as we manage through this time, really what we are doing is fixing our gaze forward. And so that's why we were really excited to take part of UNWTO's, so their hashtag is hashtag Travel Tomorrow.
Yes.
And that's really what we're looking to do is find ways to market and promote. But then also in the thing that we are really excited about right now is the launch of staycation. Right. And encouraging Trinis to explore your backyard and realize everything that we have right here on our doorstep that is available to explore. And so that's what we're really excited about right now as well.
So you're really going to be launching a campaign to encourage persons to discover or rediscover Trinidad and Tobago.
I think in some it may be discover, but yes. So whether it's rediscovering places that you haven't been to in a while, or whether it is discovering for the first time, everything that we have to offer from north, south, east, west. There's amazing things to discover. I'll give you one example. Is I had about a year ago, and you guys may be aware, there's a roast fish place down in Manzanilla, or just past Manzanilla. And so we had kind of discovered that sometime last year, and we decided to go back a few weeks ago. And one of the things we recognized is that whole area right now has been built up. So there's actually now 3 establishments that you can choose from that have the roast fish. And so you see the development taking place in the different parts. In the different parts of the country, and we are really excited about that. Even as we, as a first wave, get ready to reopen for ourselves, and really get out there and get to explore everything that's there. And certainly for the UNWTO, one of my favorite places up in Lupino, where you really get to discover some untouched, if you will. A destination that is just rich in history. It is rich in eco. It is rich in experience and food, for sure. So we highlighted pastels, and I think everybody that's watched the video talks about the Christmas vibes that they get. So I guess we get a little.
But we're going to be showing the video. We're going to premiere the video on the show in a bit. But let's dial back a bit and talk about the UNWTO Gastronomy Video Project. Tell us what it's all about, and why did Tourism Trinidad or Destination Trinidad participate in this project? And I'm making the distinction because it's Tourism Trinidad Limited that participated in the project.
Yes, correct. And so, I mean, the UNWTO for their part, because of course we know that what we are facing here locally is not a localized challenge. It is something that is experienced globally, and that countries and certainly from a tourism perspective around the world are really trying to grapple with how to restart and recover from the pandemic. And so UNWTO have launched this gastronomy campaign. where they look to tie in the food of a region, which is usually very distinct whenever you go from country to country. So one thing with even the Caribbean, and if you look at our region, while there are some similarities certainly from the climate and the landscape and some of those sorts of things, food will never be the same, right? So if you talk to anybody from any of the destinations, you will recognize that food will change from each region. So UNWTO looked at this gastronomy project to really highlight the differences and also to tie in the community and heritage aspects of the cuisine, which is something that you see whenever you look at, so our video highlights pastels.
Yes.
And so the making of pastels says 1,000 things about the destination, whenever it comes to heritage and culture and those types of things. So it ties in really perfectly with this global campaign that is taking place. But certainly we are excited to have it shown and encouraged locally as well.
Yeah. So you preempted my question as to why you selected pastels, but why the community of Lupino? You were speaking a little bit about it before, but why specifically was Lupino selected for the UNWTO project?
Right, so we really wanted to tie in this aspect of community tourism. And that's even whenever we launch our staycation and some of the packages and tours and experiences come out, you'll see it really highlights and encourages community-based tourism because it's encouraging people to get out there, explore, connect to the persons in each of the communities that you're going to, and have a very authentic experience. Yeah. And so I will tell you, too, up in Lupino, and whenever we view the video, you'll see some of the ingredients that they use are a little bit different in the traditional pastels, but it ties in the aspects of what they have kind of growing up there, and they call it, I don't want to misquote it, but I think it's the first people's pastel.
Yes.
Or it ties in some of the again, history behind it as well. And so that's what we really love about these type of campaigns and about this project in particular, is that it ties in the people plus the experience. And then, of course, you get the gorgeous northern range and everything that we love about that area as well.
Yes. So we're talking about, you spoke about the staycation earlier and the fact that, we have, that's what we have to rely on right now. How important is gastronomy tourism and community tourism to the overall tourism product of Destination Trinidad?
So to us, it's extremely important. So whenever it comes to food, I mean, I guess you can ask any Trini. I will tell you, I will. I often do this if in a group setting and we're doing introductions and that sort of thing, whether it's personal or in business. And I'll say, what is one of the things you love most about Trinidad? Or love most. And by far, one of the most popular answers is food, right? In terms of you just love the food and the culinary aspect of what makes us unique and different. Yeah. And then from a community standpoint, again, whenever you can tie in, so I mentioned Manzanilla earlier as an example, but this is another example, and there's different places, of course, throughout the country that you can experience, even on, an island like us, that there are still a plethora of different experiences. Yes. That depending on where you go, what you can find. I'll tell you, one of the things that I am hoping to do over this experience, I've heard about Buccaneer chicken. That is supposed to be up in Brazos.
You are on your own with that one.
Well, I have heard so many good things about this, and so but it just goes to show what there is to, again, as we said earlier, whether it's rediscover or discover. Yes. All the different types of communities and the types of experiences that certainly tie in with food. Food tends to be a central theme, but it's something that we find very authentic and exciting.
Yeah, I've been speaking about Tourism Trinidad, and some people who know me are probably saying, why not Trinidad and Tobago? Tell us about Tourism Trinidad. Just a little bit about Tourism Trinidad Limited, its mandate and priorities during this COVID-19 recovery period.
Yep. no problem. And I will tell you, it took a while for us to get used to too, because it's like, but what about Tobago? Because you're used to saying Trinidad and Tobago for everything. So it is absolutely not that we don't love Tobago. Of course, we love Tobago. But what the decision was made a few years ago is that there would be two different agencies to promote tourism, because as everybody knows, it's a very different experience and a very different focus when you look at core niches from a tourism perspective between what Trinidad offers and what Tobago offers. So we have counterparts, Louis Lewis up in Tobago and his team that are working from the Tobago side, but our focus here is specifically on Trinidad.
Right.
And what you find is whenever you go out to market the destinations, it really is two different messages whenever you look at each destination. And so having it separated does not mean that, well, let me say it this way. We are still one nation, one republic, and there is much to experience in both destinations. But from our side, whenever you're going out to market Trinidad, you know, you're looking at the business aspect, you're looking at sporting aspect, you're looking at events. I mean, Carnival, of course, but all kinds of different events. You can look at Carifesta as an example. And so those are things that are unique to Trinidad as a destination, and those are the things that we are really looking to promote, even as we go out and look to the future, whether it's 2021 or you know, whenever things fully recover. From a tourism perspective. And so that is part of what we are focused on, is really building the Trinidad tourism sector.
Well, I can understand. Let's go back to the UNWTO Gastronomy project. I can understand their thinking that when you look at the food and your mouth start to water for the food, you know, you'd be watering to come to the destination when things open back up, right? So we're gonna take a look at the video right now. Thank you so much, Heidi Alert, Acting Chief Executive Officer for Tourism Trinidad Limited. But we're gonna be premiering the video right now on TTT on the Now Morning Show. Let's take a look at Pastel.
Pastel is cornmeal filling with meat in it. We use the traditional meat will be pork, but now people use pork and beef mix, beef, chicken, soya, fish, whatever they like. What makes pasta unique to Lupino that we use ruku. We have a Trinidad where we use ruku. Some people use tomato paste, tomato ketchup, but ruku we use it for our coloring. We use cornmeal. We have minced meat. Usually will be minced pork, but you know, some people don't eat pork, so we use chicken today. This is our ruku. What gives us this special flavor in Lupino pasta? We don't use capers, olives, or raisins. We just use ruku and green seasoning. We boil it out. We use this is a press. We put 2 leaves. We singe the leaf first. We cut them to shape. We wipe them. This is our pasta press. We put 1 leaf on this side, 1 here. Oil. So rub on the leaf. The ball would not stick on the leaf. And then we fill it with our meat. We fold it and then we tie it. We steam them for 15 minutes. Daughter here and also my cousin Donna here. My mom was from Venezuela, my great grandmother. So it passed down to her and my aunt and us.
So with all of that together, we have our own, and we call it the First People Pastel. Lupino, I would say, in the heart of the Northern Reach. It's one of the most mystical, virgin-like place still around, because it's kind of sacred. And we are very strong in our heritage, our culture, and community spirit. Paran. Did you know Lupino is the home of Paran? We are a close-knit community. So when we have in our festival, our dish that we highlight is the pastel. So we have rabbit pastel, pork pastel, fish pastel, chicken pastel, you name it. So people from all over the world come to our festival to taste our wide range of pastel, and we are very proud of it.